Hey, today's customer-facing broadcast was about home maintenance tips and the one big mistake that we see sellers make that we'd like everybody to understand and avoid. So we started with a list of home maintenance tips that are things that people might not necessarily do or think of. Danielle, want to run through what that list was?
Sure. So the first one was the dryer vents and outside vents. This time of year could end up with any type of homes from birds and things like that on the outside that they kind of get in, or just the buildup over time of dryer lint in the machine itself and as it goes outside of the house. So a couple of years back, I was informed by somebody who said that, the best maintenance is to try to get a thorough cleaning about every 2 to 3 years of those full dryer vents. And then just, again, in spring, double checking that birds and things haven't infiltrated, because those are a hazard for fire.
And we talked a little about how Danielle's got a really long passage in her house. Mine is really short. We've got different types of dryer vents. That's something that you might want to familiarize yourself with if you're not already, when you're listening to your inspectors at inspections. Have some things that you can point out to buyers that they might want to attend to. And also at listing appointments, you can be aware of whether sellers might be in for an issue with inspection.
So then also we encourage an AC check up, and also a little money saver for them to seek out either rebates through the electric company, ComEd, or through their HVAC company. So I particularly have an HVAC company that every single year sends out a postcard reminding people it's time, and also saying, hey, by the way, we have some rebates. So I mentioned having a service partner that could help them save them $100.
Yeah. So that's one of the things we want to stress for agents watching this is have your service partners. That's a great way for you to help build your relationships with those service partners, and also a great reason to reach out and touch your clients. So I've personally heard about quite a few issues with air conditioning this spring because of the crazy weather we've had. And it was too cold to test. And then suddenly it was so hot that everybody needed it on, and people turned on their air and found that it wasn't functioning. So if you are a realtor struggling to figure out what to call your sphere about and how you might reach out to help them in times when they're not buying or selling houses, this is a great opportunity. So you can send a text, you can call, you can do a video text and just say, hey, I know a lot of people who are having trouble with their air conditioning. If that's you, let me know. I've got a great person who can help you. Just a little side note for our agents.
Absolutely. We talked about downspouts and gutters. Just cleaning them out, making sure that nothing's building up, and then just kind of the overall, again, what inspectors often point out about downspouts not going far enough away. I mean, the idea of them is to help get the water up and away from the home. So when you have broken gutters that are clogged and pouring over, that can always cause problems with foundation, driveways, other concrete work or stone work around the home. So we wanted to make sure that they're double checking that and making sure that, it was on their inspection report a couple of years ago. I haven't gotten around to it. No, now is the time to kind of get those downspouts out, extended, maybe even buried for ease, so you're not screwing around with it every time you go to mow a lawn. And so that was something we talked about. Checking out the outside faucets around the house. This time of year, we are in a very cold climate most of the year. So it's good to see, check around, make sure that there's no signs of improper from the previous year, improper, I want to say maintenance, but there's sometimes water can build up and then freeze and explode. and cause problems, small leaks and things like that. So we just gave them some ideas of what to look for, how to kind of clean it, double check it before they're full-fledged using it and across the lawn with a hose connected. And next thing, water's going into their basement or, flying everywhere and much bigger damage happens. And then the last thing we told them, we thought this was kind of a DIY project or a small maintenance project that they could generally handle, which is painting and doing any type of cleaning up around windows, around doors, front doors, back doors, to not only help with just like the overall curb appeal, but also more importantly to try to prevent any long-term damage that again will plague them, if left untreated for a long time.
Yeah. And then was that the last one?
Yes, it was.
Okay. So the other thing that we hit, and what I was saying is the one big mistake that would-be sellers are making, even sometimes 5 years before they sell, is tackling projects as DIY that shouldn't be. So you all know it. You've seen it with your buyers. You've seen it with your sellers. We're noticing more and more that these poorly done projects are really standing out. When I'm showing the few houses that we have available to show, when we're arriving and we see that somebody, obviously decided to save a few bucks and install the bathroom tile themselves. And they did a poor job, and who knows what's behind that wall, and whether they even used proper materials, et cetera. So when buyers are seeing DIY projects, things that were obviously not professionally done, not well done, it makes them question everything about the house. So when we're in an atmosphere where buyers are going in with all of their money, guaranteeing as is, taking on all of the risk, they're not going to do that when they have fears about how well maintained the house is. So if your clients are those that are among those that are tempted to tackle some of these projects that really are outside the scope of most people, let's all remind them of what it's going to look like when they go to sell.
Absolutely. So we wanted to, it was a little lighter. It wasn't talking about buying and selling. So this is kind of a little bit more universal for just home buyers or homeowners or just people who live in places that they have to maintain, to kind of help them figure out, the best ways to save their investment. And instead of the same old, just having to, worry about weeding and updating some landscaping and things like that, which people often think, or the inside cleaning of their house now that they can open up the windows. That's generally when people talk about, springtime maintenance, that's what they think about. But we really wanted to get them more concerned about the overall health of their home. And,
right. And long-term. And so realtors, let's be, the counselors and the experts that we are, and always making sure that we're advising our clients on future sale issues and what they need to keep in mind.
Hopefully this helps and gives you a reason to reach out to your clients. Take care. See you next week.